Hello there and welcome to today's Pleasure Beach Experience video. I am smiling because this one is going to be a funny one. We've done a lot of filming over the last 2 or 3 years especially, and of course when you do filming almost every weekend, in some cases every day of the week, you're always going to make mistakes. There's always going to be people falling over, Mike, or there's always going to be just some incidents that just have to go on camera in a video like this where things just don't go to plan. And before I get into the bloopers, a little shout out to Jack Silkstone, Kieran and Luca for being my inspiration for this video, because your podcast the other week with all of the cock-ups on various YouTube channels, not on the camera mate and stuff like that, was fantastic. And I thought, you know what, I need to dig out the bloopers for PBE, because there's been so many, especially sat on this couch, and that is where I'm going to start. We were filming Pleasure Beach Experience Monthly last year. There was me, there was Mark, and there was Mike. And it'd just been announced that Vortex from Kings Island was being removed. And we were like, we need to talk about Arrow coasters. I thought, hey, we've got lots of Arrow wheels at Scott and Becker's, so let's use them. Let's talk about Arrow, let's get the wheels, let's get them in shot. So the idea was that the three of us would sit here, have the Arrow wheels in our hands, and sort of go into detail about Arrow and then put the wheels down. Now every time we tried, for some reason, we just started laughing. And as the more we tried it, the worse it got, because we were literally hiding behind the wheels, trying not to laugh at each other, but we could see each other in the camera laughing at each other. But I'm not going to talk about it anymore, I'm going to play it on screen now. And the thing is as well, we did Vortex at Kings Island, and I know Mark wasn't a fan, but we quite enjoyed it. You'd have enjoyed it more.
I wish I could have got on it another time, but I didn't get a chance to. So.
Don't start about that. We're not going to mention the beast, for goodness sake. Oh, now what have you done? Oh, do we need to start again?
Caught.
Can't help it. Every time. I wish I could have done it more at my shoulder. Oh, fuck's sake. It's because you got stuck in that bloody traffic as well.
Yeah.
The traffic didn't help. Shall we start that bit again?
Start again. Yeah. Does that mean we've got all the fucking wheels?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Don't mention your shoulder.
I didn't. That's the thing.
Oh, fucking hell. To finish off this month's episode, I need to not look at you. Because it's you laughing that's putting me off.
I'm laughing?
It's because I can see you on the screen smirking.
Turn the screen round.
Turn the screen round for 10 minutes. Oh, Becky, you're going to have to do this bit.
No.
You have to replace Mark for 5 minutes. Considering I'm sitting in the office to cool down.
Could go in the outtakes.
Yeah, go.
End of year outtakes video.
Oh, this is why we're not doing a live vlog.
It'd just be us laughing.
Would. Right. So to start this next bit of PB Monthly, I'm on my own. It doesn't help that you're holding that like this. That big hole in it. Right, the wheels on the fucking bus are heavy. Right. I'm just gonna sit like this.
What are you like this for?
So no one can see me laughing. Oh, right. So yeah, that is how this video is going to go. I'm going to talk about the bloopers a little bit, and then going to show them as they happened, and then talk about them a little bit more. But the problem with that was, it's because Mike fell over when we did the Beast, which of course isn't an Arrow ride, but the Beast is right next to, or what was right next to, an Arrow ride when Vortex was at Kings Island. So we were going to talk about Vortex, but the way that we started laughing was because Mike fell over in the Beast station just before we did Vortex. And for the rest of the day, his shoulder was absolutely wrecking. And every time he mentioned it, and that's why he didn't do Vortex more, it just set me and Mark off completely. And then all three of us were just laughing at each other. So yeah, that was an almighty problem, because that took us a good 40-50 minutes to do a 10-minute segment for PV Monthly, but that generally happens quite a lot when we're filming. It only takes one of us to start laughing or say something stupid, and that's it. It takes ages. And a really bad person for this is Stuz, because he always does "and cut" or something like that, or "and action" just before we start filming, and it just sets us all straight off. So Stuz, that's why you're not in many of these chatty videos, because you're too funny. But yeah, I've got a list of bloopers, and the first one was the arrow incident with me, Mike and Mark on this very couch, and do you know what, I'm looking forward to those days where we can sit and do those kind of videos again. Who knows when that'll be. The next one is a Pleasure Beach Experience classic, and I'm really disappointed it didn't happen in a vlog in the summer when there was more attention on the park that we were at. So the quality of this footage will not be brilliant because it was filmed in 2017 on a GoPro 3+, but I'm just going to let it play.
I can't remember the summer one, to be honest.
Let's go ice skating.
You going ice skating?
It's not. That's why.
What happened there?
I stood on something. I stood on a bottle top or something like that. That's why we're not going near an ice rink. You can't walk in a straight line.
That incident with Mike falling over a bottle top has just lived with me ever since that moment in December 2017. It was the fact that just before it, he says, "Let's go ice skating." Now, can you imagine me and Mike ice skating? It just doesn't even bear thinking about, but it has happened. And if I could dig out the footage of Mike ice skating at Blackpool Pleasure Beach in 2014, I will do a separate video and put it on this channel. At the minute, I can't find it in my archives, but there was one point where he ended up crawling along the ice on his knees because... But to be fair to Mike, we all predicted that he would fall over straight away, and it took about an hour before it happened. But if I can't find the video footage of that, I will definitely find the photos and put them on screen. But yeah, going back to the incident at Portaventura, it was so classic of Mike to do something like that on camera. We're just there, walking along, chatting about the saloon show. Next minute, Mike just disappears. Oh, let's see it again, it's just brilliant.
Let's go ice skating.
You going ice skating?
It's not. That's why.
What happened there?
Must have been a bottle top or something. Time to move on to the next one. And the next one, you probably thought you were going to escape this video, Mullet. You probably thought it was going to be all about me, Mike and Mark, but no. This was in Jack's video as well, but we can't miss this. This is Mullet at Oakwood, thinking he's the big man. After he'd done the waterfall, he'd come down it, not fallen off. Becca had got absolutely soaked, and Mullet's like giving it, "Oh, you're all chickens, you're all pussies, you need to do it, I've been on it. Oh, I'm going on it again." Let's play the whole clip and just see what happens.
Well parked, Mullet.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't fall off.
That's good, that.
That coat is officially out of use.
What the hell just happened? It went all up my sleeve.
You've got a leak. And Mullet got off with it. Well, lucky. Right, Mark, your turn.
No chance.
Come on.
Come on.
No chance. There was some Becca on that.
Go on. Mullet, come on. Mullet will go again.
chance.
Oh, feeling
No
cocky now,
chance.
are we?
Go on then, go and have another go.
Fun.
You having another go?
Yeah, shall I record this one? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you not record the last one?
Have it
No, I
point-
did, but...
Yeah.
Have it pointing a bit closer to you, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
GoPro,
give it a
GoPro
wipe.
tips from Becca there.
Give it a bit of a wipe.
Bit of a wipe.
Let's go
I
again,
am
then.
soaking.
Jimmy,
Come on.
Go on.
Go on, Jimmy.
Jimmy or Mark, come on.
Go on, Jimmy.
Come on.
Jimmy.
Listen, even Mike's done it.
No chance.
yesterday.
No
so
chance.
Yeah.
Going on.
Mark,
No
come
way.
on.
I am going on that.
Even Mike's been on and didn't fall off.
No chance. No chance. No way.
I've been on it.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I will be. No chance.
Is that it then, Mullet? You off?
Yeah, go on it again.
Good luck.
You're little pussies.
Yes.
I'm already soggy, thanks.
Ridiculous behaviour.
I'd get halfway. If it was like August, then yeah.
That's a proper mullet stomp.
He deserves to fall in this time.
Yeah, he does.
That cockiness deserves.
Do you reckon he's going to get lucky again, or do you think he's going in this time?
He's going
I
in.
think he's going in.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I've got this cocky now, I'm going in.
Brilliant.
Oh no!
I'm lost for words. That is why I marked him on. Go on.
I think I made the right choice this time.
Shit.
He's definitely got a leak.
You're awake now.
How are you feeling after that then?
Wet.
Mildly moist.
There we have it, a soggy mullet, 4 hours from home, absolutely soaked on a cold April's day at Oakwood. So what does he do? He goes and sits in the car, puts the heating on, comes back about an hour later, he's still just as wet. Well, that's you off the hook now, mullet. There's no more of your cock-ups because usually you do stuff in a pub, off camera. But I am going to mention the time that you fell asleep in a bus stop, in saloon, because you just can't handle your drink. We will catch that on camera one time. A bit like this clip now, coming where you're on the rapids at Portaventura, so you're not off the hook, where you were trying to drink Estrella Damm and just looked a bit silly.
It's hard to believe that I'm going to be producing the most successful Icon documentary on YouTube, isn't it?
It is hard to believe.
It's happening though. Dave. We're back and we're ready for it all over again.
Moving on to Mike once again, and this is one that you will probably all remember from last year, early on last year, and it's Mike outside the Wallace and Gromit shop. Now before we play the clip, I want to give a bit of context on why this was never mentioned in the vlog. It was something that Jack and Kieran pointed to when they did show the clip in their podcast, that we just very swiftly moved on from Mike's fall in the vlog. The truth is, I didn't see it happen at the time. I genuinely didn't see it happen. I saw the two guys walk in front of the shop just after Mike had fallen, and obviously Mark was absolutely wetting himself, but me and Jimmy didn't see it. And as Mike's walking back, I'd obviously turned the camera off and said to Mark, "What on earth are you laughing at?" And he's like, "Please tell me you got that on camera." I'm like, "Got what on camera?" Let's show you what I got on camera.
It's so dead here today.
So I'll play it again, just over while I'm talking, just in case you missed it. In the top corner of the screen, you will see Mike walking out of the Wallace and Gromit shop, takes one step outside the shop, next thing, he's on his back. I have no idea how he fell over on. That full surface is not slippy. I have never seen anyone else fall over, but again, I go back to the point, it's Mike. He can fall over anywhere. He can do anything silly. If there's something he can fall over, he will fall over, whether it be in the Beast Station, in the station for Python at Efteling, whether it be just on a path, coming off of the Power Tower at Siam Park, which I think I got on camera. He just falls over, and then it's just Mike. He's just Mike. He just falls over everything. I am just as clumsy as Mike, but I'm lucky because I'm always the one that's filming, so you never see me doing it. But Mike said in Tenerife, if it's going to happen, if there's something that's going to go wrong, it's going to happen to me. And he's never said anything more true. If something is going to go wrong, it's always Mike. A bit like when we went to America and he was the one who got taken off at customs because he'd done something wrong with his paperwork and ended up in an office and had to explain himself, which I just think was brilliant because we were joking that it might happen and then it happened. I can't remember what order I've done this in. Oh, it is to Tenerife, and it is Mike again. It's Mike on the dinghy, which I'm sure you've all seen recently, whether it was in our vlog or on socials, because it was ended up on socials everywhere. Of course, we're going up this conveyor belt on the rapids at Siam Park, and for whatever reason they send you up backwards. And now, to be honest, I'd already been round these rapids once before, because we got split off, not me and Mike, but we got split off from the rest of the group, so we got separated from Mike. So we went round it the one time, and as we went over the conveyor, I'm going, if Mike does this, he's going to fall in, because I nearly fell in like Mike did. So we got him and we went round the second time, and that is why I made sure that I got over there before he did, because I thought if he's going to fall, I'm getting this on camera. And of course, because I nearly tip back as I go over the conveyor, the lifeguard gets distracted with me and doesn't notice that Mike's coming over, and that is why Mike flips. And that was a classic Mike moment. Only Mike could come off that dinghy backwards and just do a flip and then get off it and be like, yeah, I'm fine, let's carry on. I had to turn the GoPro off, because all it would have been was me just choking in laughter, because it was just fantastic. It only could happen to Mike, honestly. The next person is Stuz, because Stuz doesn't often cock up on camera, but this particular incident, which I don't think I put in the vlog at the time, is from Europa Park. We were getting prepared to go on Poseidon, the water coaster, and we all bought ponchos, which I know you shouldn't always do when you're going on water rides. But it was October, it was raining, we wanted the cred, so we said, let's just do it, let's get ponchos. So Stuz was the last one to buy a poncho. Stuz is always the last one to do anything, because he is our FAF champion. Also shares the title with Jimmy. But then he's trying to get his poncho on, and he's just faffing with it, and he just can't get it over his head, and I'm just going to play the clip because the sound's brilliant as well.
I'm going in.
He's got the wrong way round.
So remember, after this incident, Stuz saying to me, don't you dare put that in the vlog, you can't put that in the vlog, I'm going to look like an idiot. Well, I didn't put it in the vlog, Stuz, but it's in the blooper reel because it just had to go in. And the next one is Mike again, but it's this time Mike times 3. But this could be Mike times 1,000,000. This is Mike falling asleep in random locations on theme park trips.
I look strange. That's come back there, come back and stokes it
Yeah, well,
if you don't mind, like, you know what I mean?
I'm quite happy for you to come, mate.
Now the thing with Mike, and he will tell you this, is that he can literally fall asleep anywhere. You could be in the noisiest place in the world. If he's tired, he'll nod off. And you'll have seen when we've been filming PB Monthly, he just falls asleep. If he's not talking, he just thinks, I'll have a quick nap while Scott and Mark are doing the chatting. And it's fair enough, quick power nap, why not? But we've seen him fall asleep in just so many random places. He's fallen asleep on the big one. He's fallen asleep in restaurants. He's fallen asleep while we're filming. It's just, this is why Mike is our legend. He's just brilliant, and he can just fall asleep anywhere. But sometimes he stays awake when you don't expect it. For example, when me and Becca drove up to Edinburgh for our wedding, Mike went up in the car with Becca because he was giving her a hand with some of the stuff, whereas I took my brother up because we had that much stuff with us. We had to go up in 2 separate cars. Now the whole time before we went, we were predicting Mike will sleep the whole way on the way up to Edinburgh. He didn't. He was awake the whole way. So moving on, these are not so much bloopers, but these are just funny Pleasure Beach experience moments. And I'm going to start with Toverland, which I'll put music over the audio for this because I had an absolute nightmare on this trip with audio because I tried a new microphone on the camera and it just ruined every bit of audio. But if you've been to Toverland, you'll know about the little bouncy castle, which is, can't think where it is in the park really, but there's this like little bouncy castle thing which is quite a weird shape. We went on there, we were like, oh, we're going here for a laugh for 5 or 10 minutes. It ended up being an hour, but here's the clip because it's just brilliant. It's just full on PBE daftness. we just had so much entertainment on there. It just carried on long after we were filming it as well. I think Graham did a live stream and put it up on his socials. It ended up on PBE socials, and it just went on for ages. But that was very much how that trip went in October 2018 when we did Toverland, Efteling and Phantasialand. There was just such a good vibe about the whole trip, and that was just such a feel-good kind of day when we were at Toverland, and just having that kind of daftness just really added to what was an amazing trip. And moving on is one of our famous moments while we've been vlogging, going again back to 2017, so the quality of this next footage will be absolutely awful, but this is probably my famous last words and then an absolute soaking on the log flume at Portaventura.
As you may have seen from past videos, we don't do dry on this ride. So we're about to get proper drenched, as we keep saying, but bring it on in the Spanish clouds.
Yeah, it's not the warmest.
Here we go. Ah, my feet! Oh, my feet!
Your legs!
No! Oh, I'm gonna have to buy new trainers. Here we go. Drop numero dos. Here we go. Prepare yourself for some proper drench. Oh my God.
So we'd had a bit of a history on that log flume before we were doing vlogs, before we were filming, that we would always go on that log flume at Port Ave, and we always got soaked because we always put me and Mike at the front. And when I did say, you'll have probably seen before, that we don't do dry on this ride, I did not expect us to get as wet as we did. It was just, at one point on that POV, I say, I'm going to have to buy new trainers, and I genuinely did have to buy new trainers after that day at Portaventura. As soon as we got back to the hotel, I went into Salou and I was like, I need to find somewhere I can get trainers because they were just a complete write-off. I can't remember what colour they were, but they were dead after that log flume, and I just don't think I've ever been as wet off a log flume ride. I'm not including stuff like Valhalla Tidal Wave here, I'm including log flumes, like classic log flumes. I've never been as soaked, and that's even including when I used to work on one and be getting my feet wet and nearly falling in and stuff like that. I never ever got that wet working on that flume. Even when I had to get into boats that were overfilled with water and stuff, it was incredible how wet we got on that log flume. And the last one, sticking with water, is a bit of an ongoing battle that we had during two of our events. It started at Alton Towers, where for some reason Mark, Mullet and just about everyone else decided to just start pouring water over Mike. Now I think he was grateful for it because it was about 35 degrees. It was at the end of June in 2019. It was one of those really nice days at Alton Towers. And of course, Alton Towers does not have any decent water rides. So we were like, well, what do we do? So we thought, well, we'll just chuck water at Mike. He'll be all right. And it just turned into a bit of a nonsense all day, really. But it was just brilliant, and we got a lot of it on camera. So here's the clips.
Mullet and Mike have thrown a bit of water over each other, so...
Well, I threw water over him and he went and squeezed this as I was drinking it.
Squeeze it.
On my nose.
Yeah, so how was your pizza and pasta then?
Very good. As usual, always very good.
How's your hat? Is it cool? Well, because you've been waiting for a water ride, a couple of people thought they'd assist in cooling you down.
It's not right.
Well, no, that was the idea. So, anyway, how was pizza and pasta for you?
It's very good.
Mildly moist.
I might get to eat my ice cream before it gets flooded at this rate.
Well, we better leave you to it. What ride would you like? Okay, I didn't know that was going to happen. I knew about the first one, but not the next three. Anyway, get on with your ice cream.
We've agreed it stays on water.
Water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you
Any
don't
other substance which is evil.
yeah, you don't want to be chucking pop on each other.
Yeah.
They'll just end up with wasps on you all day.
Water, it just keeps us cool as well, so it's quite acceptable.
Quite acceptable. I'm not sure Mike will agree. Not quite so acceptable for you.
Never acceptable.
No. I think that's
Absolute. Oh! At least he did it quickly.
just like being on waterfall again at Oakwood.
Oh,
Oh no.
that better be water.
A couple of weeks later, we then had the Leesburg event, and whilst I didn't get all of that on camera, there was more water fighting.
I'm cool now.
Cool now.
Yeah. Turn around. And I think we're even.
I think you're even. You happy?
Look at the back.
Oh. I think it was a violent attack because nobody actually saw you do anything to Mike on camera.
Oh, you didn't actually get it yet?
No, you're not filming this.
the admission then.
Yeah, you kind of give yourself away there.
It usually ends up with people starting the water fight with Mike by pouring cups of water down his back, putting ice on his head or down on his head or down his back, or pouring water on him or whatever. But Mike always wins because he is like a water magnet. It just doesn't bother him. It just doesn't care. It's like a duck. He's like, yeah, whatever, water, bring it on. You'll have seen the log flume videos. He just doesn't mind for water. If he's going to get water thrown at him, he's just like, yeah, whatever. But he does it back, and he does it twice as bad as he gets it, and that is why Mullet should definitely stop picking water fights with Mike, because he just never wins. So yeah, that brings us to the end of what is probably quite a small blooper reel. One thing I do regret over the last couple of years when I've been doing the PB footage and filming, doing all the vlogs and stuff, is I haven't always kept the footage, which, like I say, for stuff like this and for times like this where we can't do lots of filming at the minute, I do regret that, because over the years there has been a lot of things where we've just got wrong and gone, no, we've got to start filming it again, which would have been good for this video. Should I ever find those, because I do have some footage stored from over the years, but it's all over in different external hard drives, so I do need to find those. But yeah, if I find any more, I'll definitely put them on the channel at some point. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please let us know in the comments what you think, and let us know where you think Mike will fall asleep next. But for now, that is all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Pleasure Beach Experience video.